The other one is consider having A as the first letter. When on the iPhone App Store, when the new releases section, the first day, if the name of your game begins with A or a number, it's going to end up the first few on that day in the new releases. The second day, the new releases come out and then yours gets moved down. But if you're planning a huge marketing campaign, or if it's all synchronized for one particular day, then that's pretty useful. I try to do that with some of our games, but sometimes it doesn't work just because of the style of the game, and trying to find a word beginning with A or something becomes a little bit harder. So, but definitely consider having like a high letter like A, B, or C, and then that'll turn up higher. So, aside from the keyword stuff, of course, the icon. The icon is extremely important. Um, it really does make a difference in terms of the number of downloads, because when people see an interesting icon, they go to it. And we've definitely found that with our games. Like these games, like our X series, are kind of retro, old arcade style games, and so they're not very colourful and bright in terms of the icons. So there is when what I've found is when I add more colour to an icon or make it kind of more saturated or have like a lot of contrast, it's definitely made a difference. Like with our game Chick's Revenge, that makes a huge difference. In our other game Temple Run Training, which also has a kind of colourful icon, that makes a big difference. I think one of the considerations as well is also thinking about how many other games have competing keywords as well. So, for example, we released a game called Ninja Birds X, and it's kind of similar to Angry Birds. It's kind of meant to be an Angry Birds training game. Now, the problem is that that doesn't have as many downloads as this Geometry Line Runner here. Now, Geometry Line Runner is not really connected to anything. Maybe it's kind of similar to Geometry Wars, but it's not that close, I suppose. But my point is that Geometry Line Runner actually has more downloads than Ninja Birds X because of the competition for any Angry Birds keywords is pretty high. There's a huge amount of applications, from like cheats to guides to clones, all that are using the Angry Birds keyword searches. So that's a problem. So even if you're the game that you're trying to model or you're trying to use as a keyword, consider that, a lot of other developers out there are probably already using that as a keyword if it's super popular. So, that can affect your decision as well. So, but on the icon point, definitely test this out. We did a bit of a test on our Chick's Revenge game and basically had like 5 icons, and we sort of said, oh, do you like this one, this one, this one? And people picked it out and then chose the best one. Extremely powerful because it's the first thing that people look at when they do a search down either iTunes or on the iPhone App Store or the iPad App Store. So really focus on that as well, and it's extremely powerful. Screenshots again, must be eye-catching, and use text to describe them as well. Try to make the first screenshot the most interesting one, because that's the first one that will pop up at the bottom as the player scrolls down, looks at the screenshot. I think include some kind of text as well, like describing what it is, something that stands out about the game, something funny, maybe something eye-catching. And then the other ones obviously can have some more variety, but make the first screenshot the most powerful one out of all of them, the most eye-catching one. The description part, it doesn't actually affect the iTunes ranking. It doesn't make it more. If you add keywords in here, it doesn't affect the ranking inside of the App Store. But what does happen is the iTunes has a web version. So if you've ever searched for a game on the web and you've typed in, say, iPhone Angry Birds, what you'll get is the web version of iTunes, and then from that website you then click on View in iTunes, and then it'll open iTunes. So it doesn't affect the ranking inside of the App Store itself, but it does. It will make it more found on the internet if someone's typing specific keywords. So, for example, if somebody somebody types in like impossible game or sort of Geometry Line Runner or maybe something similar, or old geometry game, perhaps they'll find our game out there on the web. iTunes will pop up the iTunes web version, and then they'll say, oh, okay, it's available on iTunes or on iPhone. Great, I'll download it. Hopefully. So it doesn't affect ranking, but definitely include an interesting description. Our users do read through our descriptions. There's quite a lot of users who do read through this. We know this because basically we have on a lot of our games we say, hey, if you beat this score, please send us an email and we'll put it on the high score ranking page. And then we get users that will email us and say, oh, hey, you said in your description that this is the high score, I just beat it, blah, blah, blah. And this is kind of like it's a bit of a hook here as well. Is the first part of the description is can you score 4,000 points? The world's best is 7,200. Now I don't update this because basically it's kind of a marketing thing and it's kind of a to get the user interested. If this score was too high and they never beat it, they'll never email us and they'll never be interested. And we'll never be able to sort of say, hey, great, here's the score on Facebook and pass it to your friends and so on and show off. So this pretty much stays the same, and the world's greatest record isn't actually the world's greatest record in the description. So, just try to find a hook in the first few lines of the description, which might really grab your the attention of the players that you're targeting. So exciting description, we said. Yeah, we also said the read all description. So the other point is in terms of ranking as well, is definitely check out this website called optimisation.com. I'll open it for you here, everybody, so that you can check it out, which shows the rank of your applications on the iPhone App Store. I think it also does Android, but it shows the daily rank. Jumped a little bit, then it'll show that. So, but definitely check out that website. You can view any of the applications on there that are available on the iPhone App Store. It doesn't have to just be your application. But the one of the cool tools is that you can see the history of the application based on when, say, you marketed it on the 1st of June, and you can see the spike in the results of that. It does have a free sign-up section, which basically if you want to see the history, you have to sign up, but it's completely free. You just put your email in, and then they'll grant you access to that section. So I definitely recommend it. It's very useful. So if I just go to our game Geometry Line Runner, now hopefully this shouldn't be too slow at the moment, but there you go. So it pops up, and basically it just pulls this down from the App Store, I think from the Web App Store. So you can see all the ranking there. Now this game isn't massively ranked. There's not been a huge amount of sort of marketing push on our side from this for this game, but it's cool. You can see the average ratings. You can see the different markets as well. For example, here United States, which is obviously a big focus, and you can see the daily ranking as well. So this is basically in arcade we're ranked at 500, 500, 478, 467, and so on. And you can also see the ranking of all time as well. So if you drop the date down, click all time, then it'll show you all time. So this game has been pretty steady so long. These two dots here when we didn't upload as well. So, but like I say, this isn't a massively sort of marketed game. We didn't. There's no like AdMob or iAd campaign or Tapjoy campaign or anything like that. So, but this is extremely useful. So definitely check out optimisation.com, and then you can track your ranking day to day pretty closely, and you can see the results of what you're doing in terms of like the other marketing efforts that you're making, that you're doing out there. So, but anyway, that's pretty much it for this video. So, I hope you enjoyed these tips. I hope they were useful. If there's anything that I've missed, then please let me know, guys, because obviously it's kind of a big subject, and there's a lot of things out there, and part of the goal of how to make mobile games is to sort of share information with other developers and people who are just coming into developing mobile games. So please comment, please let me know if there's anything that I might have said in error. Then obviously it's great to get that feedback from everyone as well. But for now, happy developing, everyone, and I hope you have a great week. Okay, bye.